Hello everyone, welcome back and brace yourselves. We're moving on to Tal'Darim in PvP, so this could get pretty ugly. Tal'Darim, a map without a 1/4 sized ramp leading into your main, basically means that 4-gate ends up being a lot more powerful than it usually is. And it doesn't necessarily mean that 4-gate can't be beaten. There are builds you can do to defend against 4-gate, but you end up having this like strategy circle where you might do some slightly more greedy build, like a defensive 4-gate that's a little bit more economic, and then your opponent might, knowing that you're going to do that instead, go for like a much more greedy build that might even rush out Blink or something, and then people are just rushing all kinds of crazy tech, but then 4-gate will beat those, so you just kind of have this circle where you have this guessing game of wondering what your opponent's going to do. Are they going to go for a greedy build? Are they going to go for a 4-gate? What type of 4-gate, if so? It's one of the most stressful maps to play PvP on. And LoveCD's got to be worried because, well, you know what? We can give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just like had a bad moment. Maybe he just messed up his micro. Who knows? But his gateway control micro, like it was just really subpar compared to MacSed. So to be on Tal'Darim with subpar gateway unit control is not where you want to be. It's just not. So then again, if he just likes to 4-gate in PvP, maybe he would be happy on this map. Who knows? We'll see. Both players did go for 12-gate, so have potential for similar warp gate timings. I got this map vetoed on ladder, guys. I don't know about you Protoss players out there. I cannot stand mirrors on this map when I have to play them. It's like so difficult. You have to play so clean. It's really wide open too. There's a lot of different places you can put forward pylons. Really hard to watch for all the potential locations for those. And LoveCD getting a little bit luckier, scouting his opponent first on this huge 4-player map. That is just a great thing to have happened to you. Then you know exactly what your opponent's doing. MacSed not opting to scout at all, so he won't actually know that his opponent is, going for whatever he may indeed go for. It's going to be a 3-stalker rush from LoveCD. Second gateway being added on immediately there, so he will be just pumping out stalkers really early on with Chrono to try to apply some early pressure, knowing that he's at close positions here. Could be a good move. MacSed saving all his Chrono. Looks like he might just go for a standard 1-gas 4-gate. Okay, yeah, he's Chronoing warp gate. Looks like MacSed wants to go standard. You never know, he might just go 3-gate or something. Try to take an expansion. You never know. But if it looks like standard 4-gate, and then 3 stalkers show up, but only have Zealot stalkers. Sometimes they can do some damage. Second gas, though, being added from MacSed, so no, never mind. Even though it looked like a standard 4-gate timing with Warp Gate being chronoed, and even though he's cutting probes right now, which is really disconcerting, he's at 400 minerals, and he's cutting probes, and he's going 4-gate, and he just faked a second gas. So he's doing the same thing LoveCD did last game. Kind of being like, hey, you know what? Last game, you showed me a second gas and you went 4-gate. So screw you. I'm going to do the exact same thing to you. Let's see how you do with it. LOL. We'll see how LoveCD deals with it. Indeed, he's still on 2 gateways. He does have double gas with 3 on each gas, not just pumping stalkers with 2 on each gas. We'll be rushing out a little bit more tech. We'll be able to make sentries perhaps to force field his choke point. MacSed doing a great job holding these Zalaga towers to make sure nothing's coming in towards his base. And he is mining from both gas, and not just with 2 either. He's actually mining with both gas from 3. So is he going to do 4-gate like with sentries also or something? Or is he just going to make tons of stalkers and I'll have extra gas sitting around to be able to maybe get Blink later or something? I'm not sure, but LoveCD doing a great job checking around 4 forward pylons. MacSed has not decided to try to set one up yet, even though his warp gate is done. So maybe not. Maybe just going to do a defensive double gas 4-gate and not try to attack at all. But LoveCD going up to 4-gate as well. So both players going double gas 4-gate with just different timings. There's the Robo being added on for MacSed. So it is defensive 4-gate with sentries, so you can defend against any attacks from LoveCD into Robo play. And both players are doing this actually. LoveCD adding on the Robo as well. So both players, they went for different timings. One player went 1-gate, Zealot, Stalker, Sentry with into 3 more gateways. Whereas LoveCD went for double gate, so he can have map control with 3 stalkers. And then went into quad gate, into Robo. So interesting that both players are going up to 4-gate Robo though. Probably one of the most standard safe ways to play on this map. He's trying to pressure a little bit with the stalkers, but can't really get much done. And I'm curious, is either player just going to try to like pump out some Immortals and just go for it, or are both players going to try to rush up to Colossi? and win the one base Colossus war. Can be a pretty hard build to beat. Immortal first from MacSed, not bothering to get an observer to scout, knows that any type of early blink timing is something you got to be wary of, and thus he's going to get an Immortal to make sure he's safe against that. And LoveCD doing the exact same thing, so both players kind of respecting each other's ability to put on aggression. I don't think either player scouted the sentries of the other yet. I think they both kept them back. Like when LoveCD was pressuring, you only saw stalkers here. I don't think either player showed the sentries, and that's why they both have to respect the option of blink. But it is going to be fast Colossus from MacSed, and you know, this is a great build. It is a pretty wide open map, so this can be dealt with without having to go Colossi, but it's still the most likely choice from LoveCD. I don't know, we'll see. He's adding on an observer for right now, so it doesn't have the ability to add on that Robo Bay just yet, and in fact, he's going for a second Immortal, so LoveCD might just go for a timing before enough Colossi are out, if he can scout that out. In fact, did he just cancel his observer? No, he got it out. Okay, never mind. He's getting a little bit paranoid there. Hallucinating, maybe, I don't know. MacSed didn't continue Immortal production, make a second one, nor did he even, well, he made one observer. They are going to kind of meet here in the center of the map. MacSed might be able to follow that around and bring a stalker over. No, he's not bringing a stalker, but the observers have scouted each other. Now they're in this awkward position. This is so awful in PvP. Oh, the Nexus has been taken. So LoveCD not going up to fast Colossus, taking a Nexus and then going Colossus. But you have this awkward situation where it's like, he saw my observer. Is he going to pull it back and defend? And then I can't send my observer in, but I really need to get scouting information. What do I do? So he's going to send his observer around a little bit of an unorthodox direction so that maybe MacSed won't be anticipating it, or LoveCD won't be anticipating it rather. And LoveCD is going to scout as well with an observer. But this is going to be one base. I mean, one base Colossus against two base Colossus. It sounds like, oh, two base Colossus wins. Well, it does in the long run. But if you can attack with a nice early Colossus timing before your opponent has any, it can be pretty freaking hard to deal with. So MacSed might just move out with his first Colossus. He might wait for that second one, but notice he's not even getting Colossus range. So he's not playing for the late game. He just wants to go for a nice early timing and kill his opponent. And they might just do that. We'll see. There are two Immortals out from LoveCD, but no Warp Prisms. So it's one of those situations where it's like, while your Robo Bay was building, if you had built a Warp Prism, you could lift those Immortals and drop them behind the Colossus and pick off the Colossus that way when there's not a lot of Stalkers to pick off your Warp Prism. But without the Warp Prism, good Force Fields can isolate these Immortals and prevent them from getting to the Colossus. We'll see how the micro works out from both players. Second Colossus is out and on the way to reinforce somewhere. There it is. First Colossus, though, from LoveCD, only 3/4 of the way done. Great Force Fields going down, isolating all the sentries. LoveCD sentries are going to die. No Guardian Shield, no Force Fields going down. He just loses them for free right there. Great, a decisive move by MacSed, gaining himself the ranged advantage now with Guardian Shield over LoveCD, picking off some expensive units that you really don't want to be losing. Can't really afford to rebuild him. Look at him rebuilding him right now, but you really can't afford to do that when you're trying to rush Colossi. He's only got one Colossus, no more Colossi on the way, so LoveCD really realizing that this is a big all-in that's going to hit right now. He won't be able to have time to get it out, although we are starting another Colossus right now. Colossus being target fired by the Immortals, trying to run back. The Immortals derping around because they tried to target fire for too long, and that's going to give MacSed a huge advantage in this engagement. And he's going to stomp right on through LoveCD. There's the GG, and MacSed takes a 2-0 victory. One-base Colossus builds are really hard to stop, guys. Those timings are so crazy. That's why I mean, when you think about, there's a lot of people talking about sometimes about how it's so hard to take an expansion in PvP. There's a couple main timings that make it so difficult. One is blink timings. Really early blink timings can be hard to hold unless you get a bunch of early Immortals out and have really good unit control and placements. The other one is early charge.archon timings. If you don't have good SimCity, that can be pretty hard to hold. And the other main one, the really big bust that's so hard to hold if you try to take an early expansion, is one-base Colossus timings. And that's exactly what we saw right there. LoveCD tried to go for Colossi himself, but the ordering didn't work out. He couldn't get out enough in time. It's one of those situations where it's like, maybe you could pull that off if you had dropped Robo Bay and then Nexus while trying to make Colossi. But to drop Nexus and then drop Robo Bay and Colossus, I guess someone else is going Colossi, it's just going to be too late if they hit that great timing and micro well, which is what MacSed did. So great play by MacSed. He took a 2-0 over LoveCD, one of the best Protosses in China. Pretty darn impressive. He's moving on to the finals. He'll be moving on to the LAN event. He's already qualified himself, so he'll be moving on to the LAN event at Stars Wars 7. And we're going to move on to the finals in the Chinese qualifier, guys. It's going to be Sen against MacSed. Don't go anywhere. Another great PvZ between Sen and a Chinese Protoss. This time MacSed coming at you right after this quick commercial break.